So you've decided to break up with your haram relationship.
Ooh, congratulations.
But you see, you were not prepared for what comes next. Perhaps you've seen a really cool YouTube video, a nice lecture, a good reminder, or maybe your friends pestered you so much to break up with that haram relationship that you finally took that leap. You know what? I'm gonna break up with this haram relationship. MashaAllah, good for you. But what they did not prepare you for is the withdrawal symptoms that come along with breaking up with that haram relationship. You see, love is like a drug. In fact, love is a drug. It produces the same types of hormones and chemicals in your brain that a drug would produce. When a person experiences withdrawal symptoms, it's because your body's trying to cleanse itself of that drug or of that evil or negative thing that was inside of it. Similarly, you experiencing withdrawal symptoms after being in a haram relationship are totally natural. This is your body's way of removing that relationship from you, and it comes out in different ways, shapes, and forms. Don't ever think that you are weird or strange for having these feelings, or that your iman is low right now because you were feeling pain. Pain's a very natural thing. Pain helps us realize the gifts of Allah. Pain helps us realize that when Allah gives tranquility in the heart, to not take it lightly, not take it for granted. But I want you to start anticipating feeling this way, because that's where people start messing up. No one's prepared you to what comes after that, what comes next, what to anticipate when the haram relationship is broken up. And this is what this video is for. This video is to teach you to anticipate what hurt you're about to feel, because I can tell you right now, you're gonna experience pain. But this is your body's way of cleansing yourself of the haram relationship. Now, I've narrowed it down to 10. You heard me right. 10 withdrawal symptoms that most people experience when they've broken up with the haram relationship. But I want you to ask yourself, if you've ever been in a haram relationship, did you experience any of these symptoms? So let's get into these tips. The first withdrawal symptom is you cannot sleep. Or perhaps you're restless. You just can't figure out, but you just can't sleep. One of the reasons this happens is because you can't stop thinking about this person, and that messes up with your sleep. You'll find yourself tossing and turning on your bed, and you just can't sleep. You're just super restless because you can't stop thinking about this person. When you find yourself that you can't sleep, replace that with the remembrance of Allah. Since you can't sleep, get up, make wudu, and read 2 units of extra prayer. That will help you ease your mind and ease your body and relax your body, and you'll also earn some rewards and calm your heart down in the process. And believe me, the shaitan is such an open enemy that if you started to praying those 2 units every time you became restless or you can't sleep, the shaitan will make sure that he rocks you a lullaby himself. The second withdrawal symptom that you're more likely to experience is using substance to ease the pain. This is where those who are experiencing heartbreak or have been broken up with themselves or broken up with a haram relationship experience. They start abusing substances. Perhaps they start smoking, or perhaps they start drinking, because that's what they're taught to believe as how we ease pain, because that's all we're trying to do right now. We're trying to ease the pain of that heartbreak or that breakup. So you might see a person starting to drink because they've seen it in a movie that that's what people who've had a heartbreak, they do. They drink alcohol, they smoke marijuana, or they start smoking cigarettes. Some people even start listening to a lot of music, especially music that can empathize with and relate to, so they can ease the pain. But just remember something, that indeed in the remembrance of Allah do hearts truly find ease. So if you're truly someone struggling right now and you're abusing substances or you're doing something of that nature, only the remembrance of Allah will truly ease that pain. So instead of using substances to ease that pain, remember Allah. Use the Quran, use the remedies, learn some du'as on how to ease your pain. Only the remembrance of Allah will ease that pain. Nothing else will work. Withdrawal symptom number 3. Just know that one of the symptoms is that some of you might lose your appetite and won't be able to eat. You'll be given meals and it just won't make sense for you. You won't have an appetite to eat anything, and perhaps food is given to you and you'll be pushing it away because you're just not in the mood to eat. Or sometimes it's the opposite, where we start overeating instead. We start indulging in a bunch of foods to make ourselves feel better. Your body is an amana. You can't starve the body, nor can you overeat, because it will harm the body. What you need to do is find that intricate balance. Use this as an opportunity to get a little healthy. Think of this as Allah's way of removing that haram relationship from your system. Start fresh, clean your system and cleanse your system. Find a way to start taking care of your body more when this heartbreak starts taking place. Wanting to self-harm or commit suicide. Now this is an extremely dangerous withdrawal symptom. So many people who DM me and they tell me about these problems they're having, and one of the biggest things when they tell me is that they feel like self-harming themselves, or perhaps thoughts of suicide. So instead of self-harming yourself, instead of wanting to commit suicide, side. Put all these things away and find ease and comfort in the Quran and the remembrance of Allah. No one is worth that. No one is worth your life. Your life is precious. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No harm that you've experienced in your life should ever cause you to want to take away your life. Instead, thank Allah for what He has given you. Look to those who are less fortunate than you are. Remember something, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing you with this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never test you with more than you can handle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us through the Quran that with hardship comes ease. So the fact that you're experiencing hardship right now, just remember ease is on its way. Withdrawal symptom number, you have no interest in wanting to study or doing any type of work. Once you go through such a hardship, you feel low in your life, you just can't imagine studying. You just don't feel like studying. You don't feel like working. Things that used to give you comfort, those things are gone out the window. You just don't feel like having any ambition anymore because you've lost what you consider is a piece of yourself. Remember something, this is your life. This is your future. You can't sacrifice or throw away your future for a little negative or bad feeling. You are not a slave to your emotions. Your future is bigger than what you're feeling right now. And take a break from studying, take a break from school, take a break from work if you can. No one's worth your future. Withdrawal symptom number, you are constantly missing them and you can't stop checking your phone. You can't stop thinking about this person. You can't stop missing this person. Everything in this world reminds you of that person. Every little station that you went to and you held hands or you looked at or whatever it might be reminds you of them. And you can't stop thinking of them. And because of the weeks, months, years of conditioning your body of speaking to them, you can't stop getting off your phone. You always constantly check your phone. It's going to take time for you to remove them from your system, and it's a very natural process to be doing these things. Instead of whenever you find yourself negatively remembering them or looking at your phone, replace it with remembering a dua, memorizing some Quran, or opening the Quran app on your phone, because that's a more positive relationship that you're going to build with your phone, inshallah, instead of just missing them all the time and thinking about them whenever you look at your phone. Withdrawal symptom number, your hygiene goes out the window. You have no interest in taking care of yourself. You have no interest in personal hygiene. You just want to crawl under a rock and just live your life. I get that. The Messenger ﷺ has taught us that cleanliness is half of our religion. That means you have all the 5 pillars of Islam, and on one side you have cleanliness. You gotta be a clean person. You gotta be a clean Muslim. You gotta take care of yourself. You can't give up on your life and stop taking care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself and looking good, it's gonna help you feel better as well, inshallah, and help you get out that slump. So get a haircut, get some fresh clothes, buy some fresh clothes, take a fresh shower, inshallah, and start looking good so you can start feeling good as well, inshallah, and that's going to help you get over these withdrawal symptoms and make you feel better as well. If you're feeling these withdrawal symptoms right now, hit this with a thumbs up. Withdrawal symptom number, this is something that you got to anticipate because you're going to do a lot of it, and that's constantly crying. You are going to cry because you miss them, and it's okay to miss them. There's nothing wrong with missing them, but crying is natural. Use those tears and change the intention of those tears. Instead of crying for them, cry in the remembrance of Allah. Cry asking Allah to bless you and bless them as well too. Do not waste those tears on someone who doesn't even matter in your life. Your tears extinguish the fire of hell. So please use your tears for something more positive. Utilize those tears in the remembrance of Allah instead. Tip number, you start cyber stalking them. You keep looking at their profiles, you keep checking their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter, and you just start looking at them and seeing what they're doing with their life. And the fact that they're doing different things with their lives and they're going out still, you feel like, why should you be sad and they're happy? You start getting upset for the reason that they look like they're having the time in their life while you're suffering. You broke up with them or they broke up with you, whatever it might be, they gotta move on with their life and you gotta move on with your life as well. If you find yourself cyber stalking them, this might be a great time for you to give your phone a break. Instead of actually being on your phone all the time and seeing them and try to stalk them and feeling bad every single time you look at their profile and just stalking them all the time, yuck. Instead, pick up a book. The Quran is obviously the best thing to be reading, or an Islamic book, but you can also read something else. Read another book that might be a little lighthearted and that might make you feel better, or perhaps you might learn something from that book. But pick up a book, put down the technology, and inshallah get your mind off of them. The last and final withdrawal symptom when you break up from a haram relationship is you're making dua to get them back in your life. Now you see, I don't have a problem with that. That's actually a really good thing to do, but the dua has to be worded a little more correctly. Ya Allah, if this person is good for my deen, my dunya, my akhirah, Allah, grant them to me. But Allah, if they are not good for my deen, my dunya, my akhirah, Ya Allah, remove them from my life and replace them with someone and something better in my life. There's nothing wrong with making dua for them, but if you constantly make dua for them, hoping to get them back in your life, you're wasting your time. Make a more positive dua for Allah to guide you to that person who is supposed to be good for you, inshaAllah, in your life. But do not waste your time making dua for someone who is not making dua for you. Make dua for them, but in a way for Allah, improve their life, and Ya Allah, improve my life. But Ya Allah, help me move on and bring the person who is supposed to be in my life, who's supposed to be my companion, Ya Allah. Now these were my 10 withdrawal symptoms when you break up with a haram relationship. I want to know, which withdrawal symptom have I missed? Or which withdrawal symptom did you most relate to? Inshallah, drop that in the comments below. I love you all for the sake of Allah, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whoever broke up from a haram relationship, to make it easy for them. And Ya Allah, please replace their negatives with something more positive. Be sure to hit it with a thumbs up, inshallah. Share this with all your friends and family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. I'm out. Huh? Something like that.
Really? What's your channel name?
It's called WAYOFLIFESQ. Now that you've broken up with this relationship, just know that you're gonna feel this way for quite some time. How's it go, boss?
I don't allow people videotaping on the premises of the.
I've seen people videotape everywhere. Like, people are recording of that monument. Why can't I record this?
It's a good question.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you catch that?